Hello everyone, welcome back. We are on the 20th episode of our series Parenting One Step at a Time. In the previous episode, we talked about the parent anxiety of school-going kids. For today's episode, we will be discussing something similar but from the child's angle. We all want our kids to excel. We feel proud in telling our kids' achievement and recognitions. When we are doing this, there might be some parents whose kids may not be at that level as your child. Now, what happens after this is they start narrating these recognitions to their child, and then comes the comparison part. Sometimes unknowingly, parents compare their kids with other kids. They feel that by doing this, they are motivating their child to see that particular child as an example and feel inspired. But reverse happens. Why? That's what we are going to talk about in this episode. Comparison always backfires. But before that, let me introduce myself to all the first-time listeners. I'm Alpana Dev. I'm your host. I'm a published author of A Girl in the New Town, a blogger at mothersgurukul.com, a freelance content creator, and a mother of two lovely kids who are my greatest source of inspiration for all my parenting posts, articles, and now podcast. Welcome to Mother's Gurukul podcast. In one of the previous episodes, I compared children with butterflies. So, once again, I'm asking, are two butterflies alike? Then, how can be children? Just like every butterfly is different, beautiful, having different colors and shades, so as children. Each one is special and unique. Every child is talented. And every child is gifted with so many strengths that God has given to that particular child. God has written things in His notebook for every one of us. Then, why to compare these precious gems when He Himself has made every child special? Don't compare your child with others, but help them in identifying their own strengths and work towards that direction. I remember long time back, I was talking to other mom whose son was going to start kindergarten. She was so much worried, thinking that whatever her child knows, is it enough for a going to be kindergartner? The reason for her anxiety was something that made me think to compile my thoughts and discuss this topic. She narrated an incident when she was at a party and some other kids who were just 1 or 2 years older to her child were talking on so many different topics. She was amazed to see their knowledge. After coming home from that party, she was wondering if her son's knowledge or curiosity on various topics enough. For a second, it made her think that I hope my child is not lacking behind. How will I get to know whatever he knows is enough for a kindergartner or not? And what is DRA? What exactly those moms were talking? And how will I know his DRA level? How to work with him with his reading? How will I know what is going on in the school? And many such questions. While she was describing this whole incident to me, I felt that there are too many how and what and how in her thinking process. And I think most of the first-time parents go through the same situation. That time, my daughter was in 2nd grade. I told her what I felt right, and followed so far. So I feel that if a parent is tensed, worried, or feeling pressurized, then children feel that pressure. Every child learns at his or her own pace. There are some early developers, slow bloomers, and steady as you go kids in every group. So comparing your child's result or performance can be completely unrealistic. Guide them, don't pressurize them, or overburden them with tons of classes just because some other child is going to that many classes or activities. Work towards your child's improvement and efforts and use your child's results as a benchmark for his or her progress and development. Comparison of a child is generally made with the intention of motivating the child to excel. But it produces a contradictory effect where the child feels low because it hurts the self-esteem. The spirit of competitiveness is good in a child, but teaching them to be better than their counterparts can sometimes be counterproductive. It causes deep-set emotional bruises which are difficult to heal. So, parents need to be very careful while they are talking to their children. They should always make sure that they should not compare. So, what they can do? This is what I would like to suggest. First of all, know your child. Parents must spare some time to listen to their children. They must try to understand what the thought process is. They must understand what are the insecurities, fear, or confusions their child is having. Children are the true explorers. Recognize their talents, interests, strengths. Whatever task your child does well should be appreciated generously. Liberal appreciation will help a child gain confidence to face the world. Never stop them from asking questions. Always remember, curiosity is child's basic nature. They learn through curiosity, so always foster their curiosity. Never use the words like, "You don't know anything," "Look at your friend," or "Learn something from your friend," "You put me down by doing this." When we use such words, the message soon sinks in. Even if you didn't mean for them to feel that way, but still, it leaves marks in their memories. And it hangs around for a long time, and it becomes a permanent feeling for them that they are not good enough. So encourage them, celebrate their achievements, milestones. Knowing your child's potential, you should pick your words. Comparison always backfires. Every child is unique. They are not and will never be someone else. Don't raise your expectation bar so high that it becomes a pressure for your kiddo. Depending on their interest, desire, capabilities, let them follow what they want and not what you want from them. Guiding is a different thing than writing their path on your terms. We all have hopes and dreams for our kids, but they may not be in line with their interests and talents. We should try to keep our expectations for success in line with their abilities and interest. Our self-esteem as a parent should not be explicitly linked to our child's behavior or developmental levels. Sometimes, in the process of fulfilling our dreams, they lose their childhood. The way we get to experience parenthood only once, the same way they get to experience childhood only once. So let them enjoy that childhood. And you also enjoy their childhood with them and relive your childhood along with your child. Before we move towards the second topic of today's episode, let me ask you something. What do you see in the eyes of a newborn? Or What thoughts have you experienced when you held your baby in your arms for the first time? Or what do you say when you see any small child or an infant? How cute are they? They have an innocent charm. But very soon, you start waiting for them to grow up, thinking that life will become much easier when they will understand what you want to say. But when they grow and do not come to you and sit in your lap anymore, you start missing their baby days. Funny, right? We make ourselves so confused. But why is all this rush for? Why do we want them to grow so fast? In other words, why can't we prolong their innocence and just let them be who they are? Just kids. Let me share one sweet incident with you. It was my daughter's first dance performance. At the end, when the teacher was giving the vote of thanks, I noticed that my little girl and her friend were busy collecting the sparkles that were on the stage. They were in their own world, totally ignorant of the fact that they are in front of the whole audience. I thought of giving her some hint. You can call it mom's trait. But then a friend of mine stopped me. She said, "Hey, don't disturb her. Look how cute she's looking." And seriously, she was. Still, whenever I see that picture, it just brings a smile on my face. Children are the epitome of innocence. They are the epitome of purity. They are the epitome of love, and they are the epitome of hope and gladness in this difficult and troubled world. Life is not easy for any one of us. Nowadays, kids are becoming matured very early. The way we lived our childhood is not the same anymore. Reason can be many. Social pressure, change in the surroundings, circumstances, anything. Being matured is not bad. It gives them broader outlook and an understanding of things. But in that maturity, they shouldn't lose their innocence. When we were in our childhood days, we used to be so carefree in our own world, which was full of fun and joy and happiness. But today, seeing these kids, sometimes I feel surprised that they actually enjoying their childhood? So why not to make an effort to preserve their childhood? Let's cherish their innocence. Because once they grow, they are not going to ask you for a hug because they get scared of a dream at night, or they are not going to ask you to read a story to them just because they are not in a mood to read on their own. Or maybe they are not going to ask you to tie their shoelaces just because they can't get a right and perfect knot like yours. Or they are not going to ask you to lie down by their side for 5 minutes extra in the morning because they want your cozy feel. Or they are not going to ask you to play knock-knock jokes because they have learned a new joke at school and they want to share it with you. We say that kids are beautiful. But do we know the reason for that? It is because they have something which we have lost over the passing years. Their innocence. So, don't rush. Don't push them to grow up too soon. Because all too soon they will be already grown. And then we will miss their childhood days. So, what are your thoughts on this topic? What do you do to boost your child's confidence? What do you do when you encounter such an incident where other parents are telling about their kid's milestone? Do you feel insecure? In the next episode, we will talk about the behavioral side of children. Sometimes, due to some reasons, kids hide things from their parents. So, what we should do to encourage kids to speak the truth? We will discuss all this in the next episode. Till then, stay happy, stay blessed. Happy parenting. Bye-bye.